Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5'1" of the world, Jill Simonello, who happens to be not my wife. Just FYI, putting it out there for those folks who watch the channel a lot. We are not married.
No, we're not. Although we probably
yeah,
a lot,
yeah,
like
right. We're probably married.
But we are both married to other people.
Yeah, but that's not the point of this video. The point of the video, we're in the 2023 GMC Canyon AT4X. Now, this is the insane, big, most off-road version of the GMC Canyon. We just spent the entire day, I'll put some video on the screen here in a little bit. We were off-roading, went through a mud pit. We did some kind of rock climbing up the side of a mountain here in North Carolina, kind of in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, crawling over rocks, like Moab situation, but it was really practical for, I think a lot of people would do that. Hunting, heading back to your house if you live in a mountain situation.
Or if you like going hiking,
yeah,
camping,
yeah,
whatever,
trying
to get to a trailhead.
So that worked. So that's kind of what this truck is. So this is the high output-ish version of the engine. We have the rock rails on the side. We have the lift, from factory lift, bigger tires. We have all that stuff that comes to AT4X, plus some really cool camera stuff that we'll show you in this video. Yep. But we thought we'd wrap this stuff, kind of the video up a little bit, and just talk about our likes and dislikes.
Yep.
Or maybe what we thought about the AT4X instead, because we've done likes, dislikes, another video. Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you know what? The first thing I want to talk about are the tires.
Yeah, so the tires are very interesting. They made a big point about this in the presentation, how they are really off-road meaty tires, but you don't always hear them.
No, you can hear them a little bit because we're on the highway and we're going 65. But when we were doing like 35, 40, and we were doing like some up some twisty roads, the only time you really heard the tires were when you were turning the wheel. Otherwise, at 45 miles an hour, even like 55 miles an hour, it's pretty quiet for an off-road tire. And I was pretty impressed by that.
Yeah, because I mean, we do a lot of off-roading in this job as well, with our jobs. And a lot of times off-road tires can be pretty loud. But this case is not bad. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of, you hear the engine.
Yep.
You know, that this cabin is, they're talking to some GMC engineers. They're telling me they did more acoustics in this cabin to make it quieter versus, like, say, the Colorado. Okay. Give you that more premium feel, which you can see with the interior materials and stuff. It definitely feels more premium in here.
Yep.
But I'd be curious I wish I brought my sound meter. I wish I would have done that versus the Colorado, because I think it'd be interesting to see how many decibels it puts out. But you know, I like the fact I can hear the engine, and I want to talk engine next. I mean, the engine to me, this is the high output version of this engine, and this is the best one. Like, I drove the Colorado, I wanted a sport mode. I just did. This one, it's got so much torque, so much horsepower. It's really what I think this truck should have. And I've been driving 15 miles now. I have 18.6 miles per gallon. I've seen as high as 21. I'm going back down. I can't do a real fuel economy test because we're on a trip like this. I don't have time for that kind of situation. But yeah, I just was curious whether we get...
Because we're only driving like 40 miles.
Yeah,
I just... not that far.
Right, I know you guys always want a number, so I figured I'd do that on screen and change the trip odometer here and track that stuff. So, engine performance, I thought it was pretty good.
And this is a 4-cylinder turbo.
Yes. Yeah, I know, four-cylinder, people freak out over that.
Turbo, people freak over that too.
Right, but this is an engine that was designed for a turbo. It wasn't an engine that they put a turbo on top of it.
Right.
This was built for it to be a turbocharged engine. It's the only way they can have it.
Right.
And so, I mean, I do miss the fuel economy from the diesel. You know, we know, if you follow this channel, I have a 3-liter inline 6 Duramax diesel on the new Silverado that I just bought for the channel for the year. So, I mean, if you follow the channel, you know I've had some really amazing fuel economy numbers out of that Silverado diesel. And in this case, I like the performance of this. I understand the torque curve is pretty similar to what diesel was in the 2.8 when they got rid of this. Yeah. But I do miss the fuel economy. I think there's an opportunity there to expand on that. And I don't know if they ever will. I mean, there's a lot of debate on diesels these days in the United States. I was going to talk about off-road capability. Okay. Like, yeah. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. I mean, put a period in that. I mean, you know, it's like they're asking me questions like, the engineer's like, how do you think off-road capability? I'm like, it's a short wheelbase with tons of capability, front rear lockers. I have the train mode we used a lot. We used off-road mode. I mean, we
were in Baja mode.
We had Baja mode. We have skid plates. We have the bigger tires. Yep. Like, I don't know how you put this down as being anything but excellent on off-road capability. Yeah,
no, I thought it did really well. And so we split the off-road up into two, and I essentially drove up the mountain.
Yeah.
And Tim drove back down the mountain, and you know, I mean, there were a lot of narrow passes. A full-size truck would not have been able to fit through. A lot of really tight turns that a full-size truck wouldn't have been able to maneuver easily. And this did just really well, and it was like just when like it was looking at something, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a problem. Like I'm gonna thump down. This is gonna be bad. And I was like, either that looked worse than what it was, or this truck did a really good job. And I think it was probably a little bit of both, but this truck did a really good job. And we didn't get stuck, we didn't slip, and we didn't do anything terribly crazy. Like we went through a mud pit.
I think we're pretty average. I mean, it was a pretty average track. I mean, I think you bring a really good point, though. People are going to say, well, why would I buy this when I can just buy a full size?
Right.
Well, the trails we did today, full size doesn't fit.
No, they were very, very narrow.
So I mean, you can't do that kind of trail. So if that's the stuff you want to do, and you want to drive, like, say in Chicago, and you fit in a garage, like this fits in a garage in Chicago. A full-size truck does not.
Nope.
In my neck of the woods, in Nebraska, right, I can fit anything in my area, right? It just fits. But out here in North Carolina, size does matter.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's as much cross-shopping mid-size to full-size as maybe there used to be because of how big the full-size trucks have gotten.
Yeah. But no, I was very impressed with this on the trail. And I mean, obviously we drove the base model and the
we did Denali, we did the base model. We
didn't drive the Denali.
We didn't Denali, but we sat in it.
But we drove the AT4. And one of the things they said during the presentation, and so I don't know what the exact differences would be between this and the other models, but one of the things they said during the presentation is there's a lot of standard content on this vehicle, period, because they intended for it to be off-road capable no matter what trim you bought. And so maybe we can put some of that standard stuff up in a box somewhere. But I think it was really impressive. So I don't know how this handled in comparison to like the AT4 or the base model, but this certainly looks nicer. You know what I like? I like the red. I love the red seat belts.
I know, we got red here, we got red seat belts, red interior trim. It does look really good, and I like the winch up front. I learned you don't have to get the bar. You get the bar separately, or you do the winch separately. The winch actually you can bolt on little lower bumper basically pops out, little section of it. You put the winch in, and I don't know about you guys, but I never need a winch. I get a truck with a winch, and some bitch, I need a winch.
I know, I'm like, you don't need a winch.
I never need it, and it's like, God, I gotta have the winch. So, but yeah, I would think overall, as far as engine, we like it. Tires, we like it. Off-road performance, we like it. Fuel economy, I'm back to 21 now, so I'm still in that mid-20, low 20, high teens kind of range. I would like a little bit better out of that, but I understand not having a diesel, not having that situation. Yes, we're going that way. We have the talking to us. So other than that, I think the mute button works good there. I was turning the mute on, but behind the dash. So behind the steering wheel. So I'm 5'7", you are not, and so. Seating position, did you have any issues?
I did not.
Yeah, I found this to be, I mean, I sit pretty well. The seat's very adjustable. I feel like I have plenty of headroom. And the only challenge that you and I have had is we can't get in the damn thing.
Yeah, there's
no grab handles. And there's no grab handle up here. There's only one there.
Yeah.
And we've really both of us have been trying to grab the steering wheel and slide our butts across. So, I mean, if you're taller, for sure, you're going to have the same problems we're having. I'm not going to say that. But if you're a shorter side, we've had problems.
No, and I will say the only problem that I had was when we were in some of those tight situations, trying to see over the hood, trying to see through the A-pillar. There was one time I was driving and I went like this. Because I was trying to see outside the window, and I was like, ow! But yeah, so but that's going to happen regardless of...
Right, but in this case, though, we had the cameras.
Yeah, we did.
So you could actually use...
That's the other big thing.
I know, so you had to really use the cameras because we had the underbody cameras, we could see both the front tires and rear tires. So you have to really... You have to give up a little bit of control of seeing like this,
right? And
go, I have to rely on the camera.
Yeah. And so finally, after I hit my head and gave myself like a bruise, had little Tweety birds going around my head. I was like, okay, let's let the technology do its job. Right. I'm gonna have to open my window and get muddy. Did not feel like getting muddy before hopping on a plane, so I'm like, we'll deal with the cameras. But the cameras are really cool. They're high def. And they're everywhere. I think are there 10 of them? I feel up to.
Yeah.
Not in all of the trims. So I think that is one of the things you're going to get in the AT4X that you're not going to get in AT4. But
underbody camera for sure, and the underbody camera is you can press the button and clean it. There's a washer on it. So I mean, you don't have to worry about getting it all nasty and all dirty. I mean, you wash it off, you're ready to go, you can see more stuff. And so it really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
And the quality of the camera was really impressive too. Like sometimes some brands will like, we have all these camera angles, and then the camera's like, so, you know, in this case, it's good, crisp cameras. It looks good. I think overall, I think the interior is really well done. I really do like. I mean, I did some conversation in another video about this versus the Colorado, and I do like this better. I really like this AT4X. Yeah. Like fine, I get it now. Like I get that it's $60,000. It's super expensive. I totally get it's expensive, but I get that you can see the materials in this. You can see the stuff they did in this that maybe doesn't justify the price for everybody, but it does show me how much better it was versus Colorado in that price points.
Right. And, you know, I mean, one more thing I want to point out, too, because this is one of the upper trim levels. If you haven't seen our 5 Good Things, 5 Bad Things video, go watch that. We'll post a link up here, but go watch it. But one of the things we pointed out in that video is you have this big, beautiful digital display, and they didn't allow you to really configure it or do anything with it. Well, that's because it was the AT4 we were in. And again, the base trim also, instead of using the full space for the digital display behind the wheel, they used this little bitty block, but that's because it was the base trim. So in this model, and I'm assuming also in the Denali, they use, I want to say it's like 12.3 inches or something. You use the full space for the digital display, and it's more configurable. You can put the map back there. You can change your gauge display a little bit. So to me, that's still a miss. It's still a miss that they didn't roll this out, the big display across all the trims.
It was surprising. So this is behind the driver's screen. She's talking about the digital gauges, and when I pressed the button, the map pulled up, and I was like, "Oh, where did that come from?"
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that was an option before, and so it's interesting that they do it in this trim level. But I guess it's one of the cool things about this trip is like, people ask us like, "Well, what do you think the elevation's good, or you think the whatever's good, this, that, and the other?" And you really do get what you pay for these days in trucks. And I know that not everybody has the coin in their pocket to get the fully loaded model, or actually wants to get the fully loaded model.
Right.
But you do get a lot of those things that maybe we don't love about lower trim levels. You do get the benefit there. Yeah. So I would. This
grain of salt.
I know it's one of those back and forth things. So let's do it. Butt comfort. Butt comfort. What do we got? So I feel like I'm okay. We've been in this all day. I mean, I think these seats are better than the prior generation Canyon for sure. Yeah. I still don't think GM seats are top of my list if I was to tell people about seats, but I feel like these are better.
I will say, for somebody who's on the petite side of things, so I'm about 5 feet tall, the seat bottoms are a little bit long. One of my favorite features in vehicles these days are
the extender,
thigh bolster extender, so you can make it longer or shorter, and this does not have that. But so it's probably like that much too long for me, maybe about an inch too long. But the good thing about the driver's seat is you can tilt it down a little bit, so it's not as noticeable as it is in the passenger seat.
Okay, sure. Yeah, the passenger seat. Do you have a manual recline, or do you have actually controls? You have controls. Okay, because in the we were at the AT4. Come back here. The AT4 we drove the other day had a manual as far as moving the seat back and forward.
Oh, that goes back pretty far, actually. Okay.
Put the music in there. So
bring it back up. Bring it back up.
So we have lots of good things like about it. We don't like the entry exit because we're just shorter on the shorter side.
Right.
And I want more grab handles.
Yeah.
When she was driving, I definitely had a lack of points I could grab hold on.
He was being a drama queen and he was going like this. You've seen those videos.
Yes.
He does that.
I did not do that this time.
He did in fact do that.
So we have that going on as far as that goes, and I don't know. I remember, so I was with Dan Edmonds, he was with Car and Driver, we did the Colorado drive, and him and I were kind of wrapping things up in the video, and we both kind of looked at each other and said, you know, I kind of like it. And I kind of feel the same way with this.
But do you like it more?
I do. So, I mean, it's one of those things, it's like, I kind of like what they did here. Like, I like the suspension, I like the driving dynamics, I like the engine, especially in this case. Right. The transmission seems fine. This is the new 8-speed revised transmission. Had some problems with their 8-speed. This one seems like it's doing fine. I like the materials, I like the styling. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. yeah, I definitely like the styling. I like the little finishing touches. I like the dual automatic climate control and the heated and cooled seats in this model, because like I've had the heated seats on the entire time, and I did have my heat jacked up to about 86 for a while there.
I know.
Turned it back down. He's like, "Is it hot in here?" I'm like, "Okay, fine. I will normalize for you." But no. So I mean, lots of good features and good technology, and really comfortable to drive. It drives really well, both on road and off road.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. We got a bunch more videos on the Canyon. Check them out over here. Website down below as well. Pickuptrucktalk.com. We'll have a written review down there. We'll have some spec sheets. We have lots of stuff going on over there. Check it out if you're looking for this truck. A lot more details there. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.